Hello and welcome to another episode of Farming Simulator 22 on Ballysprings. The last episode of the week, guys, over on Ballysprings. And we need to get the fields cultivated and mulched. I tell you what, we need to get it multivated. There we go. That means mulched and cultivated. That has got to be today's job, because in the next episode I would like to get them reseeded. But I am going to try something, guys. I am going to try something. I'm not 100% sure if it will work though. But there's one way to find out, basically. And if you remember, we used to go back to having that mower. Well, it's also a mulcher. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as a possible, well, I'm going to put it by, I'm going to lease one in mulch mode to try something and see if we can get it to work with the Lamborghini. Because if we can, it means we can buy that machine, we can have a mulcher and a roller in one, and it means we can have a wider mower as well. Now, if you bear with me, I've lost cultivator, and I'm a bit torn at the moment, guys, because I'm a little bit low on money. Now, I've got options to buy, like, for example, this cultivator. 120 brake, 8 meters wide, okay? So it's a pretty good width, is that? But there is one in the discount store at the moment. So I've just clicked off the game. There is one, but it's only 5 meters, that's the problem. And it's £16,000. And I've just bloody clicked off it. So yeah, I don't know. That goes up to 8.3 meters. That goes up to 8 meters. I tell you what, we're only leasing it this year because I just want to see what we're gonna be like, to get it working, basically. So if I put the mulcher on the back, because we'll have to mulch first, and then we need to fold that up. Yeah. If this drives and works properly. If you remember the last time we had this early on in the series, it was just lifting the back wheels off the floor. And it was just causing us nothing but a headache when we tried to do a mowing contract with it. And it just wouldn't work. I think if the fields had been perfectly flat and level, I think it would have worked better with the old, you know, with the Massey Ferguson. But we're not in that position anymore. You know, we have a slightly bigger tractor. I do definitely think this is going to be a lot better. I won't put a weight on the front of this for now. I just want to test it more than anything else. This cultivator might be really good for us, actually. We might be able to get cosplay working on it. That might be handy. Speed up one of the jobs. Like, if we mulch the first field, then maybe cosplay can do it. Then again, I've got to babysit cosplay. I'd rather just slow the time down. If I'm going to do a larger amount of work in a day, well, that reminds me, just need to increase the time. I'd rather just have a lower time today, you know, have a longer work day. And I go from there, really. Right. Let me just put this over here, so we can go and do the two. I was going to go and do the bigger fields first. It would have made a bit of sense to do the big field first. But if we do the smaller fields first, because we have to pass them to get into this field. I've also been doing a little bit of extra research on precision farming as well. Because like I said, I'm always learning. I'm always trying to pick up tips and tricks. This information was found on, I believe, the Giant website. If I roll the grass fields on in November, they will instantly go to grass stage 1, which means they'll stay at grass stage 1 apparently throughout winter. So that means we can cut grass technically a month earlier next year, which is good because that month earlier we have nothing to do usually. We don't usually have anything to do, so if we can get something. That is looking really, really well. We'll find out when we get to the corners and we kind of just see how it goes. But again, this field is one of the more flatter corners. So I think the best thing I can do really at the moment is put this in a time lapse. Get all these fields done no matter what, however long it takes. Might just have to speed up the time lapse a little bit, and then we can kind of have a little chat on how it kind of performed afterwards. Really, it's the only thing I can really think of doing at the moment. It would have been nice to have got. I'm torn on if we should have cosplay working. Problem is I need to do 2 headlands. That's the problem. But that is not lifting that off the floor, or if it is, I'm not noticing it. I am trying to just have a little whirl. Can I just? No, that is fine. Right, so we can buy the new mower that I want to buy. Well, I say the new mower. The mower we've already had once before. It looks like we can maybe look at buying it again. Now, this would speed up grass contracts a little bit. Now, it wouldn't give us the swathing mode that I would like. That would massively speed up silage contracts. But it is going to be bigger mower than what we've got. We can most likely afford it if we sell the other mower. That's the main thing. It's all about cost. We're a little bit low on funds again, guys, at the moment, and we've got a loan to pay back again. I want to be debt free as soon as we can, but I'm hoping the fabric's going to do that for us. I'm hoping the fabric's going to do that for us really, really soon. Yeah, we need to get these mulched. We need to get what is it? Cultivated, and then in September we need to get planted for all the grains again. Most likely going to look at maybe doing a soybean rather than a canola. We're not desperately needing straw next year. We do have quite a lot. I have found a bug as well, guys. I logged in this morning into the map, and my baler decided to give me a free straw bale. I ain't even joking, guys. It gave me a free straw bale. I logged in and it spawned me next to the baler and tractor in the yard, and I just heard the baler going, and I'm like, why does the baler sound like it's kicking a bale out? And when I looked in it, there it was kicking out a straw bale. I was like, what the hell? I get a free straw bale for signing in today. Yeah, it was really, really weird, to say the least. But yeah, our beef cows are looking splendid as well up in that field, guys. I know I said I was going to go into a time lapse. I just wanted to get this one done first. I'd done the majority of it not in a time lapse, so I think the best thing to do was just to finish it. You can see me do a little bit of work, a little bit of chit chat. I do apologise as well if I'm a little bit snivelly down the microphone today, guys. I am absolutely dying with this flu and cold. I've had a nice cup of lemsip this morning, and it's helped me produce this video, put it that way. But I had it like an hour ago, and I can proper feel it's just like wearing off, you know what I mean? My headache's coming back. I'm getting real fatigue. Not trying to make any excuses, you know. Here I am still making a video while I can only say I feel like I'm dying today. I did tell you guys I am a giant baby when I'm poorly. I did warn you all. Ah! Reaper, it would be nice if you turn the machine on. Right, this is where we're going to get the time lapse on, guys. We've got the next field to us just ahead of us, and then we've got the big giant field. And hopefully we can get all this done in the time lapse, and then we can jump back in and hopefully start getting some cultivating done. go. I'm going to put that onto a work. I've done 2 headlands. I have made a mistake in this series though, guys. I have made a huge mistake. I have leased 2 items. That is against the rules on this series, guys. I have accidentally leased, because the reason I've leased 2 items and I haven't really thought about it is because I wasn't 100% sure if this mulcher was going to work. That was the reason why. Yeah, and I've done it. I've leased 2 items, and yeah, that is only the 2nd time on this series that I've actually broken a rule, and I've forgotten to. I know there's a weight in there somewhere. I was looking for that weight. Right. While that's doing that on a worker, now I'm not gonna say he's gonna get that done perfectly well, but I'd like to make a start on a little bit of this prep work, because we do have in the next episode we'd have to seed all the fields. I'm trying to keep months to 1 episode now, but the harvest season and the prep work are going to be at least 2 episodes per month at least, because at the end of the day, no, I'm going to the wrong field first. They just take longer to do. There's literally nothing we can do about that. Are weeds growing in this? No, it doesn't say weeds are growing. I have mulched. We let the weeds grow. We have mulched. Like I say, it probably won't do the best, this job in the... Oh, look at the size of that. That is fantastic. Right, let's try this, see what it's like. Oh, I can tell you now, I wish I had the Lamborghini for this. I can already tell you now, it's a little bit on the sluggish side. I tell you what as well, it's also... My screen, I've got frame drop since using this. Since using the animation, I've got frame drop. You know, the animation of this tool, it's literally giving me a frame drop. As if though you get a 4080 graphics card and you get frame drop on Farming Simulator because of an animation. It might settle out once it's built the shader cache for it, who knows. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to do a little field, you know, just start on this. We'll get the time lapse going when we get into the next field. The good thing with this device is, this tool, this implement, whatever terminology you want to use, it's nice and wide. Look at it, it is so nice and wide. Yeah, I haven't forgotten that I said we were going to look at bringing the case in on lease to buy as well, guys. I just want to get a little bit more money in the bank before we are like, yes, let's get this case in. Just the sheer fact that of how much it's probably going to cost us. I am torn at the moment between, well, the problem is if I lease to buy it without the engine upgrade, we're screwed. If I lease to buy it with the engine upgrade, it costs twice as much. I think it's about £8,000 per between work hour and day. It's a lot of money, guys. It's a lot of money. We've got to basically warrant bringing in about 8 grand per day, and that does mean slowing the series down to bring it in, because we just don't have that kind of financials at the moment. We're getting there, don't get me wrong, we are definitely getting there, but 8 grand per day for like leasing fees and hourly fees and things like that, yeah, that's close. Like it's a bit it's a bit expensive. This little cultivator, this mod is fantastic. It's relatively cheap, it's low on horsepower, you know, for the horsepower requirements. Yeah, I'm quite liking that. Really impressed. I can't remember if I've used it before. I was going to use the slightly cheaper red one, but I remember using that over on the Somerset series, and like I said, I'm trying to use different things. There's certain points in the series where you just can't use a different thing, like the old school series that we do on the Old Stream Farm. obviously there's going to be quite a lot on there we can't, you know, there's quite a lot on there we have to reuse because there's not that many older style mods, you know what I mean? So we have to use what's available. And I do have favourites, I ain't gonna lie. Like the Ford tractors, for example, like the 7810. Oh, I'd use that in every series if I could. But everyone will get bored of me using it. Yeah, I love the Ford tractors. Right, let's try and get these 2 littler fields done for the end of this episode. I don't see why we wouldn't, but you know, if we get it in a little bit of a time lapse and we can get this done, I might cultivate, I could cultivate the big field off recording. Then again, I could also just do one headland, it's a wider machine. Do one headland and then put a worker on it in the next episode while we're seeding and stuff. I don't know. Like I say, we've got to lime, we've got to fertilise, we've got to get seeded. I am going to be renting a different seeder this time, guys. I do want to try and get a direct seeder. Apparently, the reason why I'm doing it this way a little bit is because we can boost the yield by about 10 to 15%. Even though it doesn't tell you you can get an extra percentage, it does give you an extra 5 or 10%. 5%, I think it's 5% for mulching. If I use a direct seeder, I can get an extra 5%, and then, you know, do you know what I mean? They all build up to like 10, 15% basically on the yield, and which means an extra 10, 15% worth of income basically. So, you know, if we can make an extra, let's just call it 10%, it's just easy to say. If we get an extra 10% per year off everything, the only downside is it does take us longer to prepare. Because normally I would have just ploughed these fields up and we would have been good to go for the seeder next month. You know, this time we're mulching, cultivating, we've then got to seed. You know what I mean? It's... And we want to try and roll this year if we can. We at least want to roll the grass fields. That's the thing. When we use them. Again, looking in more in depth on like little boosts and stuff and see what there is. And this is what people have said. I know I did say I was going to go into a bit of a time lapse, but I kind of haven't. I haven't done it. I think we'll just leave it at the 1 today. Yeah, the case is just proving to be a little bit awkward at the moment for lease to buy financially, is all I'm going to say. As in, it's bloody expensive. It's bloody expensive. There we go. So if we can get up and down here. Good. This machine is making it so much quicker. Keep an eye on that wages, make sure the money's still going down. Make sure the worker hasn't finished. I think the worker's finished and I haven't realised, or he's got stuck or he's crashed or something. I don't think he's finished. It was too quick for him to finish. Huh. Oh yeah, the wage, yeah, no, it's alright. I think the worker's crashed. Let's just hope he hasn't crashed into another field and ruined my, I don't know, my grass or anything like that. Alright, that is lovely jubbly. All done. Apart from this tiny little bit, which we'll do right now. There we go. Right, while that's folding. Oh, he has actually. Wow, he flew through that. That was fantastic. And by the look of it, he hasn't missed. Right, give me a minute, guys, because that is really starting to annoy me a little bit now every time we come down here. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's go up a shape. Let's do that. There we go. That should. Right, I have got a problem. My tractor's in the way to just make that a nice smooth a nice smooth thing. Yeah, it's really doing my head in, is this, with a collision. There we go. Leave that like that. I think that looks really, really well, to be fair. He definitely doesn't seem to have missed anything. He definitely doesn't look like it. But yeah, we're definitely going to look at maybe buying this mower. If we can't afford a mower with the work mode that I need, or I'd like to just speed jobs up, then this thing, I think, is going to be a good alternative. And like I say, if we can put a weight on it, it might even level it out even more. But yeah, now we know that works. We won't lease that again. We'll look at buying one of them. But I think overall that worked really, really well, to be honest. Really, really well. I just think I've left my Lamborghini tractor running as well. I'll have a look as we drive past. Yeah, the grass in all my fields is ready to cut again. Ideally, I'd really like to get on with a little bit of grass work. I wanted to try and get 3 cuts this year, and it didn't work. Yeah, I knew I left that running. Yeah, we might as well use the Deutsch Spar for this job, just because at the end of the day, it's not. It can pull this with no ease, with no issue. It pulls it with ease, no issues. I don't see the point in changing it over to the Lamborghini. Don't see any point whatsoever. Yeah, if we can put 8 meters wide this, if we go in a straight line here, I know it's going to look a little bit silly to begin with, guys, but if we drive in a straight line and then I go and do the rest of the headland, well, that is just starting to affect the top speed of this machine. Or is this genuine question? Yeah, all right, so it's a little bit close. What did it need? 120. This has got 140 brake. So yeah, it's a little bit close to the limit. So yeah, it should be 9 miles an hour. We were dropping down to about 7 then. But overall, it's not too bad. I'm trying to decide if we should get the case on, at least to buy. Or I'm going to call it finance, but you know what I mean. I'm just a little concerned that it's too much to buy per month and per day. We don't want to dig ourselves into a hole where we get it repossessed. If we get it repossessed, then we won't be able to get any bank loans. That's how I'm going to play it, you see. Try and get that in there, like that. Try and get that in there. Oh, would you? No way. Go away. Go away. I missed 2 little bits. I don't want to miss it because it's cultivating it for a reason. I can't believe that. Come on. Like, that's not much of a hill, guys. But the way this is acting at the moment, it doesn't like that little bit of a hill. I'm a little concerned, yeah. Maybe like wider tyres, maybe some wheel weights on there might help, but I really don't want to put money into this tractor. I really don't want to put money into this tractor. 29 work hours this has done now. This was something we didn't buy this brand new though, did we? If I remember rightly, we bought this in the used sale market. And it's been a fantastic tractor, let's be honest. It's done everything we've needed it to, that it's been able to do. You know, we knew it was going to struggle with the baler. We knew that. It ran trailers of bales round, even though it did struggle a little bit on the hills, just because, again, low on power. But the power issue of this tractor wasn't this tractor's fault. That was just us trying to make it do stuff we knew it shouldn't have been doing to begin with. As you can see from this, we are looking really, really well. This field is looking really, really well. This is where I would have loved to have got a little bit of slurry on the field. You know, once it's cultivated, get some slurry on, get some manure down. That reminds me as well, guys, we've got about 3 trailers of manure to sell now. 3 trailers of poop to sell. Now, we don't make a lot of money on the poop, but at the end of the day, maybe the poop is what helps pay for the case if we can't find an alternative. That's all I'm going to say, if we can't find an alternative. What have we got? We've got 4 fields mulched and 3 cultivated in one episode with only 1 little time lapse. I can't really moan at that, to be honest. And the time lapse isn't going to be that big either. Because we did a lot less of the field than I was going to do. I might put this on courseplay to cultivate that field just while I want to test it. I want to do a little test off recording, you see, but I think it might. I think, to be honest, this tractor's going to struggle just a little bit to pull this up that hill. It was a little bit sluggish there, so I am going to swap this over to the Lambo now, just because I don't want to struggle too much. We're kind of just asking for problems there. But yeah, if I just jump to this case just before we end, medium tractors, we'd be looking at the Case Pro 7200. We would be looking at... Right, so it's £7,000 to lease it to originally. It's £1,500 a day, and it's 3,000. That's the problem. It's £3,000 per hour. Now, if it was £3,000 per day and £1,500 per hour, wouldn't have much problem. But that is a lot of money to have to get while also trying to pay off the loan. So we might take a little look in the shop off recording, see what other options are available, maybe make a bit of a list. I might put it over in the Discord of, like, you know, power, cost, blah blah blah, and then I might, you know, so all the information will be in my Discord, and then what we'll do is I might look at putting on a YouTube poll of which one you do think we should get. I say, I think the case is just a little bit expensive with that engine mod. That's my only issue with that engine mod. Like, we don't want to cause a financial problem where we lose our ability to use the bank. We don't want to get into debt and things like that. But I'm just gonna go and look at this. We're gonna create one of these. We're gonna do that. Multiple. No, we only want one. I'm not really bothered. I've got no headlands. Let's do 2 headlands. Field center headland. I'd always like to put a 10% overlap on. Field center. Start work on head. Yeah, I always do it like that, just out of curiosity. Close that. Start job. I'm just curious to see how it'll work off recording, guys. I'll come back in a bit. You know, I'll show you tomorrow or in the next episode, shall I say, what it's like. We will be on the old stream farm for the next couple of days, guys, because it is the weekend. So I am looking forward to getting back onto that map. I hope you guys have all enjoyed this episode, and I will see you all in the next episode.